this is Shira, and today I am beginning the second of the series of the planets through the signs, now the planets through the houses. And of course, that includes the sun and the moon. Now, when we discuss the planets through the individual sun signs, we are talking about our style, how we like to project ourselves in the world, and our interests. However, when we discuss the planets through the individual 12 houses, this is how we take action. It is what motivates us. And it is also about prediction. And if you know your personal birth chart, then you very likely know where the planets are in the houses. So today, the first house is our focus. And we are going to begin with the sun, then the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then finally Pluto through the houses. Now, if you are a first house sun, you have traits similar to the sign of Aries. And you are someone who is rather assertive or aggressive. Now, keep in mind, a lot has to do with your personal sun sign. For example, if you are an Aries and you have the sun through your first house. Now, Aries rules the first house, and with Aries sun sign, you will probably be more apt to be a little bit more outgoing and assertive. If you have, say, a Pisces rising or a Libra rising, you may be assertive or rather outspoken, outgoing, but the traits will be lessened because those signs are not ruled by Mars or the first house. Okay, and the sun is with Libra, debilitated. So again, a lot will depend on your sun sign. So the first house sun individual likes to take action. They are rather very busy in their life. I have yet to see anyone who has a first house sun become bored easily. They have to keep active all the time because the first house is associated with Mars or Martian energy. And because of this, Mars rules action. So these people leap into action with all projects or undertakings in their life. They are natural leaders. And Aries, or the first house, rules the head. So individuals with first house suns have to be careful that they are not too fiery or over aggressive, because there could be certain issues concerning their head. So be careful of any kind of accidents. But again, this is all relevant to your personal birth chart, not just one aspect, as in this case, the sun in the first house. Also, Aries rules the mind. So those that have a first house sun are extremely intelligent. Some of your top scholars and intellectuals will have first house suns because you are very curious about the world around you and extremely intelligent, intellectual. You are a natural detective. You want to know the reasons why. And of course, associated with Aries and the first house suns are very outspoken. They generally speak their mind, and like the first house and Aries, they can be a little rash, sometimes a little bit too outspoken for their own good, but they mean well. A first house sun is about what? You, them. A first house sun individual likes to put themselves first, but one beauty about those that are first house suns is they are action takers with their goals and their ambitions and their objectives. Natural leaders are first house suns. People look to them because generally they seem to know what they're talking about. Sometimes in certain situations, those that have a first house sun can be rather, well, self-oriented or self-centered. Their ego sometimes can take over all their interests. It's about me first, what I want, I'm going to do. But one beauty about a first house sun is once they create a focus, they stick to it. Because after all, it's about them and their first handshake, their first appearance to everyone else and the world. And whatever your sun sign is will color that first house appearance. For example, if you have Aries rising, the first handshake that people see is aggressive, rash, outgoing. If you are Taurus, the first handshake will be you're sensible, down to earth, no nonsense, a little bit of a bully, or very determined, very stubborn. If your sign is Gemini and you have the sun in the first house, you're going to be very glib, very communicative. You want to talk about everything, and especially with the first house as Gemini, you're going to be extremely intellectual. A little superficial sometimes, but generally you are a master at communication and all communications. And with Cancer, you're going to come across as somebody who is warm and caring, and you want to project that to the world, your warmth and your sympathy and kindness. Leo, you're grandiose. You want to make sure people know who you are. You have a natural sense of drama, and you are somewhat larger than life to some people. You are very commanding and demand attention. When you speak, you're not missed. Virgo on the first house, well, you're very fastidious, pronouncing the words there, and you are very detail oriented. People get the sense with you that you can come across as a bit of a perfectionist in all things. And you are somewhat like a Gemini rising and also ruled by Mercury. You're a bit of an intellectual and come across as smart. That's very important to you. Libra, Sun on the first house. Well, again, the Sun is debilitated in Libra. So of all the signs, you're not going to come across as the most showy or one who demands attention. However, nonetheless, even with the first house Libra, you may be rather charming, very particular about your style and beauty and your appearance, how you come across and the social graces, and being rather diplomatic, and you could be rather beautiful depending on where Venus is in your chart, since Libra is ruled by Venus. Now, Scorpio rising, somewhat like Mars, but Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto. So you can be rather outgoing, rash, and aggressive like an Aries rising, but there's something about you that carries a strong sense of power. You got Pluto backing you up. And Scorpio risings are the heavyweights, and they like control, and you're very magnetic. People cannot miss you. When you speak, people listen to you because you, without looking for attention, somehow gain it. Maybe sometimes a little secretive. Sagittarius, gregarious, Sagittarius. You are very zestful, enthusiastic, outgoing, and Sagittarius is extremely outspoken. You generally don't hold back in your opinions, but most Sagittarians do mean well. There's a zestful, boisterous sense of joy and energy, enthusiasm with Sagittarius risings that's also very attractive. Capricorn, very serious. You want to let people know you mean business, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and with Saturn there, this is somebody who comes across as very responsible, very focused on ambition and goals, and also somewhat of a leader who people look to for sometimes advice, yes, or these people just naturally take charge. Aquarius on the first house, well, you like to come across as a little bit different. Somewhat like Libra rising, you have a certain sense of style and like to project this, and you're very unique and extremely intelligent, inventive, and Aquarius on the first house is someone that can come across as a little bit unusual or weird, but that's just the way you like it. You're smart, and to some people you may seem like you're a little bit ahead of your time. Now with Pisces on the first house and the Sun in the first house, you're very sensitive, very gentle, and you come across as someone who has a great deal of compassion and caring and sensitivity for other people. And again, keep in mind that with all first or any house aspects, you have to look at the complete chart and all the planets and so on. Going back to Pisces, you will be someone who is sought out for your kindness, and helping other people is a big deal for you. People get the sense that you're a little bit mystical, or you are somewhat secretive yourself. Make sure, Pisces, on the first house, you don't get taken advantage of. The next segment we will look at is the Sun through the second house. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.